Ba, 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 ba.
A-Team.
Okay, in the A-Team of this crew, I'm obviously Mr. T, right?
Yes.
Wait, you're BJ Baracus?
Okay.
Or am I
B.A. Baracus.
or am I who's the crazy guy?
Lips?
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Or I'm either Murdoch. James is Murdoch, isn't he?
James.
Or is,
I love it when a plan comes
or
together.
is James Face?
Yeah.
James is James Face?
I think I'm face.
Yeah, I think Colin's Face.
Yeah, I was going to say Colin's
Which
face.
Colin's
Which one's
face?
face?
He's the
Face is a pretty boy.
Face is
Oh,
a pretty
yeah,
boy.
that's definitely me.
Yeah, I guess I'm definitely Mr. T.
You're the
Because
driver.
I don't take. Yeah, I'm the driver, and you.
Okay,
and
so
you have to
that
knock
would
me
make
out to get
James
on
the
a plane.
crazy one,
Yeah.
John the leader, and Chris is the van.
Chris is the van. Actually, the van was one of the coolest parts about that show, so I want to be the
That's why
van.
I said I'm the van.
I'm the van.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel. I am the walrus.
Hello, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast, where my friends prevent me from renaming myself Lars Snarffelargedson, and instead force me to watch movies. This week we have with us Eric Largent.
Tally ho!
We have Chris Arsenault.
I'm just confused by his tally ho.
All right.
It was Norse.
It's Nordic.
Oh, was it?
Nordic.
Yeah.
You're all a bunch
It was
of
Norse.
You're all a bunch of nerds.
We have with us Colin McMillan.
Hello.
And we have James Barrup.
Ferdy, get work.
So, yes, we have this week we watched Headhunters. The synopsis of this film is a corporate recruiter steals artwork to maintain his lavish lifestyle, but one painting he targets belongs to a headhunter of a different kind.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, it's quite a stars list. Let me ramp up for this a little bit here.
Jürgen Flurgenbergen.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
That's Jamie Lannister, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did kind of shout that when I was watching this. I was like, oh my
my-
god, it's Jamie
I'm
Lannister.
pretty sure everybody must shout that when they see him in everything now. Oh my god, it's Jamie Lannister!
And he's
Guys,
speaking moon language.
Honey, look!
He's okay. Askell Henny? Julie...
I think it's Axel, but yeah.
Okay, Axel. We have,
What a badass.
Julie R. Orgyard. Kier Hagen Sindis. There's a whole list of names here, but
Wiener Schnitzel hot dog mouth.
Joachim Ralphson, Niles Jorgen Karlsted, and directed by Morten Tyldum. Yes.
Oh, brother.
So, who would like to tackle this one first? Obviously, this was a James suggestion. So,
I'm going to.
all right, Chris, why don't you take it off here and take it off? Why don't you put it back on and then start us off?
Okay, all right, Headhunters. What is the point in stating that you have to adhere to a set of rules as the first thing in a film? It's to imply that you actually adhere to those rules. All it's really saying is, guess how I got caught. At least, if you're going to break rules, do it for nothing less than an altruistic reason. In The Transporter, Frank only breaks his rules by looking in the package, which is one of his rules. He doesn't acknowledge what's in the package. He doesn't look in the package. When he happens to hear a whimper coming from the bag, realizing there's probably a person in there, and even at that point, he contemplates it before he actually goes out of his way and trying to limit the interaction, make it easier on himself, if when it all goes awry, which he actively acknowledges it's going to do by breaking his own rules as part of his forethought, and it's going to be his downfall, and so he does it knowingly, rather than say he does it in the form of stupidity. Long story short, Transporter did it better. No. So, in this, the character, in the middle of his coup de grace job, he falters, and he falters hard. So he looks out the windows and sees his kids playing, and he thinks of his wife, and it makes him remove his face mask, and he starts making a phone call. So here's the admission time.
Right.
As soon as that cell phone, like he brings it up and puts it to his ear. As soon as that happened in the film, I stopped watching.
I encouraged Chris to keep watching the movie, but he would not do it.
Here's the thing. As soon as that happened, I stopped watching the movie. Because I had the keyboard right next to me, and like it was such a hard, gut-tearing reaction. Like I was just so dumbfounded by the stupidity of this character that I paused it and had to walk away. And it took me like 10 minutes before I would come back into the living room. And the only reason I came back in the living room was with my laptop so I could start writing this review. So here's something. Like I'm not quite done yet. I just want to point this out. I'm not done.
But the relevant part of him reviewing the movie is done.
Yes. Well, yes. Except that at this point, because this is about a half hour into the film, at this point we've been introduced to a character who claims to know all the ins and outs of what you're doing. He understands the physicality of the steel, but nothing beyond that. Like, yeah, don't leave physical evidence, clean up after yourself, act like you weren't there. But he makes a phone call in the middle of a burglary. Who the fuck does that? Especially when you've already been introduced to the person he's stealing from, who is an ex-special forces soldier who specialized in tracking human beings and is highly knowledgeable about communication and GPS technology. I'm going to give you how I assume the movie ends.
Okay.
And by the way,
I told Chris how the movie goes.
After I explained it to Eric, he did tell me how it actually ended.
This is so fucked
Which is
up.
funny because, like, it's funny how it goes and how the whole art thing is, as he said, it's just a
It's a little bit of a
smoke
misdirect.
screen.
Yeah.
It's a
not about
ruse.
art theft. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a twist.
So you're stealing this piece of art within a very small window of time. He's going to know it's a fake immediately as soon as it's appraised, and he's going to know it's a recent fake. So he knows he's been fucked. Someone stole from him. So at this point, thinking sensibly, it's supposed that the theft occurred during that small window of time that he was out of the country retrieving his things. Now he's going to be investigating the people that were made aware that the piece of art existed and made aware of his travel plans. At the top of that list would include Roger, as someone that is likely aware of the art and being the husband of the woman that is arranging the appraisal. So he knew about the art and knew about the trip. So that's going to be high, like the top of the guy's fucking list. So working with his strengths, he follows a man's cell activity, which, by the way, if you're going to make rules about not leaving anything behind, it would follow that you don't make a phone call when you're committing a burglary. Just rehashing that because, well, it needs to be said. So this is how the movie ends.
In Dimension X.
Yeah, so he finds that Roger's cell was made a phone call within the range of his grandmother's apartment during the day that he was abroad. Well, that's suspicious as hell. He enters commando mode. Movie ends with Jaime Lannister beating Roger to death with his good hand. Then he marries the widow and gives her beautiful blonde kids with good genes.
I understood that reference.
That's how the movie ends. And then I tell this all to Eric, and Eric's like, yeah, so the art had nothing to do with it. I'm like, what? And he explains it to me. I'm like, huh, that makes me want to watch the movie less.
Less, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So is that what you got then for us, Chris? Is that you didn't watch the movie?
Hey, no. In my defense, I tried.
Well,
I tried to watch the movie.
He found a Chris U too big to get past.
Right. It was a moment of just utter stupidity from a character that I just couldn't follow up with my dedication to another hour of the film.
Yeah, to be fair, that was a point where I actually leapt off the couch and went, "What are you fucking doing?"
Okay. Yes,
Same reaction when I first watched it, yes.
Yes, I went, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
And he is an idiot, but
Yes, he
he's a incredibly clever idiot.
He's a clever man that's been acting like an idiot for a really long time, not on purpose.
Well, I've found that some of the smartest people I know have no common sense.
This character
yeah.
is not a clever man. He's a complete fucking idiot.
You think so, Eric?
Yeah, I fucking hate this guy.
Actually,
I
you
can't
know
stand
I'll
him.
tell you another reason that he's stupid. Who shaves dry when there's a river right there? Who would fucking do that? You're a grown-ass man. You know not to shave dry. There's water all around you, literally, and you shave dry, and so we get this brutal, awful brutal, awful
Head trauma.
head-shaving, nightmarish scene of bleeding out your scalp, and you have, why would you dummy.
He's got the medicated strip. He's okay. Most of those injuries were sustained from the crash anyway. It wasn't his shaving that cut his head open.
I think that he cut himself
Still,
shaving.
shaving over a cut is
Super painful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Very persistent.
No,
job.
you
Awesome.
wouldn't, and that's what I was going to say. I have a very strong counterpoint to your argument, Chris. That being, I watched the fucking movie.
Okay, so with Chris being done, like 30 minutes into the film, Eric,
Hey, it's not
you
my
mentioned,
fault. You guys all agreed with me that was a ridiculous
Oh,
turn.
that was an
at that
absolutely
point.
ridiculous thing, but
Yep.
the rest of us powered through it because we've got a job to do, damn
Let me
it.
get
And
this. Let me get this straight, though. You watched all of Leprechaun, right?
Yeah.
You ass.
Well, here's the thing about Leprechaun. It's a terrible fucking movie, but it never supplants itself as like, okay, we're intelligent people doing intelligent things. Then I'm going to stick this pole up my dick.
Okay,
So
fair enough. Fair enough. You're
Leprechaun
talking
had
about a bunch
started
of...
out like Ocean's 11, and
Right,
then all
and
of a
then
sudden,
turned into Leprechaun.
and then that would be a deal breaker for you.
If Jennifer Aniston was a highly sophisticated art thief who then refused to clean the kitchen, then we'd have a problem.
Actually, her refusing to clean the kitchen would have made more sense than cleaning the kitchen.
Oh, wait.
That
yeah,
is
I'm
true.
sorry. I had that backwards.
Yeah. And they didn't sand before they painted, which is really just terrible.
That's like shaving your head dry. That's just a terrible
Jesus
idea.
Christ.
Okay, so actually, Colin, you sound like you have a lot to say now. So
Yeah,
I think we're gonna let you go next. Then we're gonna follow it up with Eric because I'm curious about this. This guy is an absolute idiot statement.
Why, thank you.
I've got some talk on this guy, but yeah, go ahead, Colin.
I guess I kind of preemptively agree with Eric. This guy is kind of stupid. Like, he's a smart guy, but he makes consistently dumb decisions, which is, he tells you right at the start of the movie. He's like, oh, I married this woman, but she doesn't like me because I'm short.
Yep.
So I'm an art thief.
To be able to afford her.
Right. Afford a woman who's already married to him. Now, by and large, I liked this movie, but there were some things like that bothered me about it. Like that. I did like the actor that played Roger Brown, and I think that he would make a really excellent Hannibal Lecter. Like, he's got a perfect look for it. This is
He does. He has a very skeletal face,
Yep.
but I just don't know how menacing he could really play.
He's ghoulish, you know,
Yeah.
which makes
He's got the look.
Mhm. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Which made him a very good opposite Nikolai Coster-Waldau, because he's handsome as fuck, and this dude is like Gollum. So like,
Yeah, the guy who plays Rogers is like a more ghoulish is accurate, but like more ghoulish and unattractive Tom Hiddleston.
yeah, I can see that. Another thing that I had a problem with is when you get to the twist, where it's like, the art was just a clever ruse. My old plan was a corporate takeover.
Right.
And then I'm like, why'd you do the art thing then?
Right.
Why did you do that?
Well, the
No,
art thing was
That
because
was to get close to his wife to get to him.
How do you
Why?
know this, Chris? You didn't even watch it.
Because I told him.
Eric pointed it out that it had nothing to do with that, and it was pretty easy to piece together on your own after that.
So you're
Supposed to
saying
be-
that he did that in order to get a job interview?
Yeah,
Yes.
an introduction. Yeah, the original introduction was supposed to have happened
Who
via
is
the plant,
mistress.
the mistress plant. But when he cut it off,
Oh, right.
as soon as she started talking about introducing him to people, and he's like, "No, this is not a thing. This is not a thing that we do. Then he had to figure out a very quick in with the wife, so he came up with this goofy bit of trivia.
What's that guy's character's name? What's Nikolai's character's name? It's like Klaus Greve.
Klaus Greve.
Klaus Greve.
Sounds like a villain in a Die Hard movie.
Right.
We've got to stop Klaus Greve
Or Bond
from
movie.
bombing this boat. So
Okay.
well, they,
I can't get back. I can't get behind that hero. He sounds like a schmuck.
Klaus Greve is going to flood Silicon Valley in a hostile corporate takeover.
yes, but he's serious.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
He actually just wants the money. And it's Christmas. So yeah, like you got this dude who your main character Roger Brown.
Roya.
You know Roya. Wait, how do you say that? It's Roya. No, it's Roya. What?
Roya.
Just call
Roger?
him Roger.
Roger.
Please.
Roya. So Roger seems to be a pretty clever guy. Like he's got this pretty high-powered job, and he knows how to steal art adeptly. Lord knows how he learned how to do that in the first place. But he has a fairly sophisticated setup. But the whole reason he's doing it is idiotic. And then he kind of like does these stupid things throughout. Like why? I get that he's emotional when he finds out his wife is cheating on him and all that. But then he basically completely stands to blow this really good career move over it, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? And then
him being jealous is the whole reason that this whole like takedown and chase happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if he just gives Klaus the job, then the movie's over.
And he's
But quite
and he's
honestly,
safe at
guys
that
have
point.
done stupider stuff, for
Right.
stupider
Like
reasons.
because Klaus he didn't even care about the art being stolen because it was just trash. It's not
Right.
I think the art was probably fake in the first
Yes,
place.
it was.
It was
They-
fake. They said it was a
They
reproduction.
said it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They planted it so that he could attract the attention of the art thief, so that
Right.
it's
No,
actually,
he
not
didn't.
art thief, just
He-
the
wife.
art wife,
yeah.
because she was running a thing.
the art wife, and then it turns out but the
The,
reason
the sheer fact that he was a thief had
nothing to do with
Had
it.
absolutely nothing to do with it.
because Klaus would come back to his apartment and be like, "Oh, somebody stole that fake painting. That's weird."
Well, no, it's funny because like he stole a reproduction with presumably replacing it with a shittier
Reproduction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a slightly shittier, actually, or by his own
It's
admission.
like this was worth $55. Now it's only worth $50. Actually, he might have replaced it with a better reproduction. What if?
Might have,
What if?
maybe.
Yeah, he actually thought it
Graves
through
actually-
and thought, "Hell, I'll get a really old reproduction that's of super high quality. Sure, I'll spend $10,000 on it, but I'll end
But
up
I'm
making
gonna
that
make
back."
hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds of millions.
So in other words, Chris, the Thomas Crown Affair did it better.
So here's my question: would not
which one, the original or the
Would not-
remake? Think about
Brosnan.
It. Think about Brosnan.
would not
Brosnan.
Rohaya Brown have noticed that it was fake?
No,
No, he's a fucking idiot.
he's not.
And
he's
he
not
established it. The only thing that makes these paintings worth anything is reputation, or however the fuck he pronounces
Yeah.
reputation.
Well,
the big R.
I think he's putting a lot of assumption that it's
True,
the real.
and I mean, I guess he
legitimate
kind of says
painting.
that in the beginning. It's like it doesn't have, no one's going to notice a reproduction. I mean, I guess he's as fallible as anybody he steals art from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this is the thing, though, that I kind of really don't get. So the reason that Klaus is chasing him down is because Rohaya Brown has fucked over this whole corporate takeover deal by being jealous and being a jerkwad and yada yada. But Klaus is like this stone cold, super calculated dude. Why would he rage out and try to murder Roger Brown? That doesn't seem like it would be really part of the thing,
It's a wonderful question.
This takes a little bit of a leap, but I actually have a reason, I think, and a reason that I believe
Okay.
there that this is going on. Okay. Klaus, after the whole thing gets blown up because Klaus makes this stupid mistake of sleeping with Roger's wife.
Yeah, that was the other
Which
thing that I was
you
like,
know-
why would he do that?
I wouldn't call that stupid. His wife is pretty hot.
Yeah, and still, I mean, if it was on the hook, I mean, obviously, maybe we can assume that maybe he had some sort of I'll never get caught sort of thing.
Right.
And it's only just by pure accident that Roger happens to catch him because he's stealing from
Well,
him.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
he never knew that was ever a possibility. He had no indication to think that Roger was ever going to be in his apartment.
Right, and he probably didn't
After
even think
the whole
the lady would leave her phone there. I mean, it's not really his.
Yeah.
It's not really his fault.
Right. So after the whole thing tanks, he goes up to talk to Roger. Roger looks at him, freaks out, bolts, and runs. Now, I think you could safely assume that no matter what's going on there, if you're like a stone cold killer and you're putting on your face and you're like about to go up to somebody and you're like, hey, everything's okay, let's just talk this out, but the person looks at you and bolts, then something else is going on. He maybe never put it together. But in the end, he was pretty clear about that. He's like, I don't get this. I don't understand what the fuck this is all about. So you tell me.
That's true.
You tell me, and I'll shoot you in the head. But if you don't tell me because of all this shit you put me through, I'm going to shoot you in the stomach.
Okay,
So-
no, that's
There's
stands
also
up
a
for
couple
me.
other things going on there. One is that if there's for the guy Klaus, in his mind, it could very much be that Roger knows about the takeover, but he's the only one, and that's why he didn't give him a job. But so there's also that. So if he kills Roger, then he gets the job. Also, he needs Roger's recommendation to get the job. If Roger's dead,
No, he doesn't.
no recommendation.
No,
gets
he
the job.
doesn't. If he eliminates Roger, then the recommendation is irrelevant,
Exactly,
and the
that's the
job's
point.
going to happen.
That's the point.
No, he's getting the job. He'll get the job if Roger's dead.
Because they
Yeah, so
hardcore
that's
wanted
why
to.
he would want to
Well,
kill
no,
Roger.
that's
right. Because Roger doesn't say no. I told them that you're not getting the job. He says tomorrow I'm going to tell them not to hire you. So that's okay. That's why because Roger.
That was it. That was the whole thing that
that's
fucked
it,
him.
Because
That was
Roger
it.
has not yet fucked the deal, but he is going to.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
No, all right. Okay. I get it now.
Plus he rabbited. And if
But
you're a
apparently
super
he
killer-
was. They had him GPS the whole time, so they could have tracked him to the apartment, which means they probably could have put him in place to stealing the fake artwork anyway, and probably could have just gotten him arrested instead of trying to kill him anyway. I'm just throwing that one out there. It would have been
Well, the
cleanest
whole
of
movie
ways
could have
to
been circumvented if, like, the rest of the world, when industrial espionage actually happens and there's somebody who's basically in the hiring process, Roger's obviously on the take. They could have just paid him off.
Yeah.
Right
That
from the
would have
beginning.
worked out fine for him because he is already
That's
doing.
exactly what he wants.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's actually true. He needs money.
Yep.
Yeah.
They could
Why
have
didn't you
He's
think
like,
of
rather
that
than
instead of
sending-
stealing
And
art?
he
Like,
still
that's-
probably could have slept with
That's
his wife.
honestly, that could have been the whole situation, is that all they had to do is look at his finances, realized he was crazy over leveraged, and then been like, oh, this guy needs help. Let's just offer him
Yeah,
$10
rather
million.
than sending an assassin to drop some bodies in case shit goes south, why don't they just send a big case of $100,000 and just solved?
Maybe the guy likes to take care of his own business.
True.
But none of these were the
You're
Taking
movies
care
we
of
watched.
business every
Okay,
day.
no,
Right.
That said, I actually really like this movie. I really like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Things to say in its favor: there are many nice lamps in this movie. Every scene includes a very nice lamp.
That's true.
And if you're watching this movie with somebody who's into design, you will not be allowed to not notice that. You'll be constantly reminded every time there's a nice lamp on screen that there's a nice lamp on
Oh,
screen.
I think we just
Well-
had a glimpse into his
Well,
viewing.
good for you, Colin.
Let's see, other things.
Good for
I would
you.
say, good for you. Good for
Don't
you.
worry, Eric. He'll be alone soon enough.
Yes. Yes, it's been going so well, she's leaving the country today. I would say, of all the movies where a protagonist ends up fully submerged in poo, this is probably my favorite.
That was fucking ridiculous and awful and stupid.
So Eric
I don't know. I mean,
disagrees.
I like Nikolai Coster-Waldau on most things I see him in. I thought that all the actors did a pretty good job. I'm not really sure about these little microscopic transmitters that they can put in your hair or penis, but like most of the stuff in this movie I was pretty on board, although there were also some like crazy shit that went down that I just never buy. Like, okay, so he's been hauled off by the cops and the car is going to go over this cliff and everyone's going to die but him somehow. And I mean, I guess that says a lot
Yeah.
for being...
Well, it's because he was buffeted
It's-
by.
He was
Yep, he had a lot
insulated
of
by the
cushioning
fat
on either
guys.
side of him. But so there's some stuff in this movie that I was sort of like, what, and some things like, why are you doing that? And like, I can't believe he left the dog just there. But
yeah, fucking skewering the dog and then driving down the street with it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's their version of envelope pushing. Do you guys remember the cat from the girl with the dragon tattoo? Or
I don't recall that.
Might have been implied because one of the members of the family was fucked up.
But yes, a lot of people take umbrage at the dog point in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big point of contention for a lot of people.
It should be, because it's unnecessary.
Yeah, animal cruelty.
Just don't put the dog in the fucking movie. What's the dog in the movie for?
Because he doesn't like dogs.
Well,
Mike-
I guarantee you it will not be in the American remake.
Oh no, no, that's
This movie should not get an American remake.
It's already being done.
It was sold before
Fuck that.
it was even like when it was announced. It was sold.
All right, carry on.
I don't have much more to say. All in all, I liked it, but it's a movie not without its flaws. Still worth a watch if you're looking for something interesting and a little out of the ordinary. And thank you, and that is my review on Headhunters. Thank you.
Eric, vent some of that rage for us.
So first off, my name is Eric Largent. I'm 5'6.5" tall, and you know what? That's not fucking nearly tall enough. So fuck you, Roger, with your fucking like happy ending conclusion at the end of this movie. No matter what, you'll always be 5'6", and it's always gonna suck. Second off, this movie was adapted from a novel. Now, I can imagine what kind of novel this is. It's the kind of shit that rich corporate yuppies buy at the fucking bookstore in the airport and then read on the airplane. And while
As soon as you went book, I'm like, that was exactly what I was picturing.
while they're reading this book on the airplane, and they're sitting there in their bored fucking shitty yuppie lives where they've got every kind of creature comfort in the world, but they're bored and they want a little excitement. They're like, yeah, I could be an art thief, and I could be part of a hostile corporate takeover, and I could get into some hijinks where I get chased down and I'm a short guy and kind of schlubby, but I've got a fucking model type wife. This movie is just yuppie porn, and it's shit. This, it is. It's terrible.
I'm laughing because I'm agreeing.
This is the kind of shit that bored people watch when they want to feel better about their shitty lives.
Like us and Harry Potter?
I mean, that's
Sure. The Harry Potter's
that's
a
pretty much
fun
what
story.
Twilight is for young moms who aren't
For women.
satisfied in their marriages.
Yep.
Yeah, or fucking 50 Shades of Grey or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what this story is. There's nothing that happens in this story that's not like boring, cliche, and played the fuck out. It's just awful. Any movie that ever has the protagonist submerged in shit is crossed off the list. It's off the list. It's done. It's done. The movie is over.
So, submerged in shit and ghosts are real. Those are things you will not put up with.
No.
What about ghosts covered in shit?
using a used up toilet paper roll as a snorkel in your shit pool. That's basically how I felt watching this fucking movie. Like I was sitting in a shit pool, breathing out of a toilet paper snorkel. There's a lot of really unnecessary, gruesome violence that apparently this like fucking new version of Scandinavian noir has to push the fucking envelope at every corner. And it's just getting fucking tired. Like, who cares? I don't want to see a guy's face like mashed off because he fell off a cliff.
That was nasty.
I don't need to see it. I don't need to see Roger's open wounds as he like limps through the city trying to get to his mistress's apartment. And okay, so like the mistress was part of this movie. It seemed like just so they could set up the fact that Roger is like an asshole and he just uses things in his life. He looks at things, or he looks and he says it about his wife, and then he acts it out about his mistress, and he says it about the guy that he first interviews to get the job. That these people aren't important; they're just commodities, and all he's doing is leveraging the reputation of these commodities into making them more important. Roger is a shithole. He is a terrible person, and as such, during all the bad things that happened to him during this movie, I didn't care. It doesn't matter because Roger's a shitty person anyway. So who cares? So basically, I just watched an extended torture sequence of a bad person. And then once this extended torture sequence ends and Roger figures out a convenient way to tie up every single loose end and put a bright, shiny bow on every single one, then he just goes back to his corporate recruiter life. And the end of this movie and the moral of the story is, now Roger sees what he really has in life and that it's good, and he's now happy with his life and his wife, and he's got a kid on the way, and it's all fucking bullshit. It's stupid. He's back to his boring fucking yuppie shitty life. Fuck it.
You know what I just realized? What does this review remind you of? My review of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Roger is Neil. He's not a likable character. The ending is supposed to be happy, but it's a shit fucking lie.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Well, no, I mean,
All right.
that's a good question, though. Like, so when does Roger get bored and start cheating again?
Right.
Or when does he get
Right.
bored and start
In a
stealing
month
art
or
again?
two.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
because,
not like
yeah,
now he can suddenly afford
because-
his lifestyle. He still can't. His
Well, he was selling
This
the
movie
house.
implies this
No.
movie implies that he's learned his lesson. He's going to move on, but no, he's an asshole. He's a bad person, and he's just going to go back and find another mistress, and he's going to shoot his kid because he apparently has no empathy.
If anything,
And he's a fucking
if
sociopath.
anything,
Who gives
now
a fuck?
he's just going to be.
He killed his friend Ove and didn't even feel that bad about
That
I
it.
was
think
an
he felt
accident.
a little. I think he
killed
felt
Ove
a little
twice.
bit bad about that.
He killed him twice.
He killed Ove
Yeah, he dumped
twice.
him in the river. And
He
I
dumped
thought
him in
he
the
was
lake,
dead.
and then he fucking shot him on accident. And
Well, if someone comes back from the
to
dead,
be
you
fair-
shoot them.
right in the head.
He's not Jesus. Come on.
He
He double
clearly couldn't
tap.
walk on that river, so we know he's a zombie.
speaking of double tapping, Klaus Greve, after he sends the police car full of fat guys and idiots over the cliff,
Cushions, apparently.
he goes down to the scene of the crash and he looks into the car and he sees the guy that he's been trying to kill, and he just looks at him and is convinced that he's dead
Yeah,
and
that's
walks
weird.
away.
That's a weird.
fucking
That's a weird moment. 'cause
retarded.
Even if he's not there, just shoot him.
Just shoot him.
I think the more appropriate thing would have been to reach in and break his neck. So, because how do you explain a car crash? Putting
You don't even know what you're talking about.
No, how do you explain a car crash putting 2 bullets in someone's head? If you reach in and snap his neck, you could just
couldn't- he
assume it
couldn't
happened
reach
in the
him
car
'cause-
crash.
Okay.
He fell off the cliff and hit 2 bullets on the way down.
You know, it
Fell
happens
down an
more than you
elevator
think.
shaft onto some bullets.
Obviously, it was a suicide.
All right, so this
He
movie's
died of
just
natural causes. What do you mean? He's got 2 bullets in his head. You can't live with 2 bullets in your head. Nothing more natural than that.
So this movie is just shithouse yuppie porn. It's the kind of garbage that you read in toilet stalls and on airplanes.
For a good time.
And
call Brown.
right. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Shithouse yuppie porn. I want that to be a shirt.
Shithouse guppy porn.
So, James,
Defend.
this is your movie. You wanted us to watch it. You had some feels about it. Why don't you share those feels with us?
Well, I'm really surprised at all the hatred. That's pretty crazy.
I'm the only one that heaped it on.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure if I had
hated it
watched
so
the whole
much that he
movie, I
couldn't
could
even
have.
get through it. Colin
That's true.
liked the lamps.
No. Colin's watching experience was that someone pointed out that there are a lot of nice.
That's the other thing about this movie is it's so highly rated. I feel like people just saw a high rating of this movie and said, "Bah, yes, this
They
is a
also
good movie."
want to tell everybody how much they like foreign film.
Right.
Oh, I love
Like if this
foreign
movie
film.
was in English, it would be,
It would be right, like,
straight
it
to
would be-
video.
Well,
People would s-
people would.
It would be
People
on
would say it was
sci-fi.
okay.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
It
They
would
would say it was
be.
okay.
This is-
They would
be
okay. They
an
would, they would be fans
an
of this
AB
movie.
ABC movie. It would be I'm just saying
No,
it would be
it
like
wouldn't
a,
be an ABC.
Dude,
Dude, there is not
I'm
too
telling
much
you, it'd be a
Chris, you don't even
TV
know.
movie. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Chris,
You don't even know.
this.
No, I'm telling you. Okay, fuck you guys for you don't know. I watched enough of the movie to know that there wasn't substance to it.
I'd like to say I got more shit than Chris when I did the dishes for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I genuinely tried watching the movie, and
But
I have watched.
I don't see the difference between this and the Transporter. It's the same kind of schlock.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, the difference
I'd say
difference
it's a little
being that
better.
the character's acknowledging that he's doing something stupid and knows he's doing something stupid and does it anyway, rather than just does something stupid and doesn't realize he's creating
it's a fine
consequences.
point to put upon on it.
Well,
It is, but it's a point.
That is
There
true.
is a
It
difference.
definitely a point. On a
could
graph,
defend.
in a line that goes nowhere. So,
John put a little bee in your bonnet.
so, but you
Not
could
to
also say
put
that
too fine a point on it.
you know, in the transporter, that's all that guy does. He's a pro.
Yeah.
This guy is a corporate douchebag who's a part-time art thief. Like,
Yeah, but he has his
Okay.
own set of rules
You
that he
know
doesn't
what?
even follow.
So-
that's because he watched
like,
the
the drop
transporter
of a hat.
and thinks he's a fucking hard ass.
yeah, but this is
He's a part-time art thief. He's a full-time douchebag.
okay. You know what? There are a lot of similarities in this with Roger Brown and fucking
Jason
No, I was
Statham.
talking American Psycho. You know, they
Christian
also,
Bale?
Oh.
Patrick
They
Bateman.
also,
yeah.
yeah.
Patrick
I mean,
Bateman,
yeah.
this kind of male power fantasy flick is a thing, and even the American version, when it does come out, there are going to be guys who are going to go and watch this, and this is going to be like one of those, oh, that was a cool movie that they talk about for 2
I
seconds.
fucking hate those guys.
I know.
I'm sorry. I hope you're not one of them. Johnny.
No, I'm not one of these guys. I'm a sports movie guy.
No, you're talking about the guys that work at Quicken Loans and see a movie where a yuppie goes on an adventure and they.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you, Eric.
Yeah. No, we're on the same page there. You know, but we all have that thing.
Sorry, I'm Lewis Blacking all over this podcast.
We all have that thing. I mean, some of us want to be starship captains. Some of us want to be, like boxers. Some of us want to be con men.
I want to be part of a kooky family.
And some
from
of
the
us
60s.
just want to. Some of us just want to think that our shitty, boring life isn't as boring as it really is. Well,
Yeah.
fuck off.
James.
Yeah, James.
Good review,
Were you
James.
still? Were you?
Thanks, guys.
we hijacked that
Yeah.
so hard.
James,
So,
tell
Yeah,
me.
you did.
I actually feel really bad about that.
I watched
one.
this movie like less than a year ago. It was on some sort of like list or something, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's got good reviews, so I'll watch it. Really, I chose it because I wanted to hear your guys' impressions on it, and so far it's it's been surprising. I've been pretty surprised, but actually, one of the things that I liked about this movie is one of the things that that I have contention the most with Eric's review is that it's got a bunch of shit that's played out, but it turns a lot of that stuff on its head sometimes. Like when he thought that his friend Ollie was dead, and it's like, okay, he dumped him in the river, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's like kind of what you'd expect, but you wouldn't expect him to come out and be alive again, and you wouldn't expect him to whip out like a fucking Uzi and shoot him while he's getting him some fucking milk, or him to accidentally shoot his friend in the head. Like there were several moments in this film that actually genuinely surprised me, but I mean,
That's. I had no
yeah,
surprises.
you expected all of that. You're like, oh, and now he's going to shoot his friend in the head.
Well, no, because I just got to a point where I didn't care
Yeah.
about,
Yeah, I guess that's
like-
a difference. I guess you do kind of have to care about your main character. But yeah, when I was
Yeah.
watching it the first time, I was like, when he took his mask off and started calling his girlfriend, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? That's the fucking dumbest thing ever. My guess is that, he was just thinking, well, I managed to score this one pretty fast and pretty easy, so I've got a little time, and it's not going to make that much of a difference if I call her. All these things are stupid, but yeah. Like,
You still leave before you make that call.
oh my god, I know.
Yeah, but plot
It's-
point,
Plot point.
He
He
had-
needed to make the call to keep the show moving forward.
Right, he wouldn't know that she was there. But my point is, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's still
I don't care
dumb.
how dumb you are. That's dumb.
Yeah, it was very dumb. But
Or you make the call on your way out if you're that pressed to make the fucking call.
Mhm.
But he had a bunch of feels. He needed.
Yeah.
He needed to.
He needed to get
I
those
have
feels
feels
out
all
right
the
then.
time, and you
This
know
would be
what?
like if Colin
Most
was
of the
an art
time,
thief.
when you have feels
What?
and you call someone, they don't want to hear
You're
it
like,
I
anyway.
don't feel.
You're the most feely guy I know.
No, I'm not. no.
Wouldn't you stop in the middle of a crime to call your honey and be like, I
Busy
just saw
murdering
something.
someone. Hold
I
on,
just
hold
saw
on, hold on.
something.
Yeah, honey. yeah,
I just
the
murdered my
blood spurting
mistress,
from
and
this
I'm just
guy's
thinking-
neck really makes me think of the love I have for you. How my blood
I
pumps
was
for you.
just spontaneously overwhelmed by all the joy and beauty of life, and I had to call you.
As I took it away, as it faded from his eye.
That would be me. Although these days it would be more likely that during the course of my crime, my phone was already just blowing up with texts from 3 or 4 different people, and I couldn't get the job done because I had to go and have some quiet time. I can't steal this painting right now. I just need to be by myself. That would be me.
So,
Okay.
And instead of stealing a painting, I'd go play Kingdom Hearts for a while.
so I just murdered my mistress, and the way she betrayed me just makes me think about how loyal you've been to me, and we really should have kids.
Right.
It made me feel really good about our relationship.
So, James, is there anything
That-
besides...
That mistress literally stabs him in
Yeah.
the back. Like, oh.
And that was a weird part, too, because the knife kind of just bounced off him. Like, for 10 seconds,
I
he was
know.
temporary. Which actually is funny, because I think that's actually... Now, obviously, I've never been stabbed. I've never stabbed anybody.
No, yeah, the blade would probably hit
You think
ribs.
that'd be
I'm
And,
pretty sure it hit
accurate.
shoulder
Yeah.
blade.
Yeah,
I think it hit
It
shoulder
had to
blade.
be a really sharp blade.
Yeah.
And
So,
it was just a kitchen knife, like...
right, yeah.
No
No,
big-
it certainly wasn't... Although, the where he grabbed the blade, I always hate it in movies when they
That's
do
why
that.
you stab
it,
someone
it
in
drives
the
me
yeah,
nuts.
this was a gruesome movie.
Yeah. So, James...
I don't remember the gore that much watching this movie the first time.
He was vice president for 8 years. How can you not remember that?
Oh,
God damn it.
Jesus.
I'm delightful.
Once again, Colin dies of dysentery.
Really, I just sort of I thought it was somewhat interesting after watching it, and I had nobody to talk about this movie with, so I just sort of wanted you guys to watch it so,
So
we
a
could talk
year
about
later.
it. Yeah, a year later. Well, not a year later, but
Aren't you
I
glad
watched
you
it
brought it
last
to our
summer.
attention?
Well, so you mentioned that you liked that it turned some of the things that you were expecting on its
Yeah.
ear. What are some other things that you liked?
If you're like me, that was pretty much
I'm
it.
trying to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're right in that, like, this is a fairly standard thriller.
Well, and that wasn't like a combative thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really kind of want to hear what other people did like about the movie.
like, okay, I mean, as cheap a trick as it was to put him in the poo, it was one of those things that was like, you don't expect other movies to put the guy in the poo because it's so awful.
It just isn't done.
I would
Yes, this isn't done.
have gotten shot. I would have been like, fuck that.
Oh, I'm going to revise my statement. There's only one movie where you can have somebody go through shit, and that's
Shawshank Redemption.
All right, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Revised. Revised.
I'm sure if we thought really
Revised.
hard, there might be one or two other poo movies.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just I mean, you're correct in that it was a fairly standard thriller, but it does kind of hit you with a few unexpected notes, and I don't know. I just I didn't hate it
There's a
watching.
whiff of shit to it.
Smells a bit pooey.
But I'm kind of in the same boat as Colin. I thought overall it was a fairly decent movie, and I just sort of wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Bah. I'm going toxic.
No, it's all right. Eric,
Villainous Eric, you're the worst.
I know.
Yeah, when Eric does a
has
heel turn,
has
it
a real
is.
hard time with the unwashed masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, James.
I was just going to say I am one of those people who enjoys foreign films, but I am not above saying when a foreign film is absolute shit. And people are just like, "Oh yes, it's one of those foreign films. You should watch it." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is worse than the shit that is produced in America and is formulaic."
Right.
Am I the only person that thinks that actually America makes a lot of really good movies? I don't.
No, I'm with you, Colin. Actually, yes.
Oh, I'm with you too, Colin. I'm when it comes to movies, I'm definitely a big fan.
Things that make foreign films good are when they show us something about that experience that we couldn't get from an American.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
and I can think of a foreign film that does that spectacularly.
Like City of God. City of God does it.
That one I did not ever get around to watching, actually. Although I did listen
Okay.
to the fabulous podcast on the subject.
Bullshit.
I did. no, I did. That was one of the first ones I listened to. No, but there's a great one called Departures, which is a Japanese film, and it's about.
Oh my god.
That's a great movie, and it shows you a great slice of culture that we don't have here.
If you want to weep forever,
Yeah.
watch
I don't want to
Departures.
weep forever. Although I've heard great things about Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh, that's a great one,
I saw that
too.
one. That one's it's a good
I
documentary.
really enjoyed that. I really liked
I mean,
that one.
I get you that foreign films bring something, or at least maybe a unique way of telling stories that we wouldn't necessarily jump to. So I'm down with that. This Headhunters is not it. This is not that.
No.
James, I think I'm kind of like you in the respect that I too get drawn in by like not so clever twists.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is about me, but
Anytime
I
they don't do the absolute obvious, it's
Yeah,
always a
anytime
little
they don't do
joy
the-
just to find that they put a little thought into it.
I'm like the Mulder of movie twists.
Yeah.
I have
You
a
wanna
poster.
believe?
I want to believe.
Right.
I'm the same way. I watch movies like this one, and like when little things like that come up, I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. And that's how I watch this movie is that, actually I spent a lot of time shouting at the screen because there is a lot of dumb in here.
Yeah.
But like any time that there was like some dumb, there was just that tiny little bit of, oh, that's neat thing. Like the fact that he grabs blood from the other guys and smears it over his face and he leaves his eyes open and he doesn't blink for like 20 seconds. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It's not really at all. It's not cool. It's just kind of
And it wouldn't work.
And it wouldn't work. You'd fucking blink or you'd notice that
wouldn't
your
work.
eyes were watering,
Or the trained killer would just put one in you.
Or the train killer would just put one in you. But I mean, like I said, even from the beginning of this movie, they would have done some research on this guy, realized that he's leveraged over his head in debt, and they would have offered him a payoff, and he would have taken it, and this whole movie never would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of dumb in here and a lot of really bad plot points, but I do kind of get caught up in those stupid little tiny little things. So if you're like me, and if you're like my brother, and to some extent like Colin, and you also love lamps,
I love
No
lamp.
one's like me.
Colin and Brick
Those were some nice
and Colin's
lamps.
lady friend.
Those were some nice lamps.
these,
Colin's dating Brick Tamlin from Anchorman. I love lamp.
Oh no!
but I mean, so this movie, you know what? I feel comfortable saying that anybody who's listening to this podcast that was even remotely curious about this movie, you can take a pass. Your life isn't going to be any worse from it. And if everybody's like, "Oh, you need to see this foreign film, Headhunters," go watch Severance instead. It's a much better film.
Yeah. Severance.
What Severance?
Well, it's pay. So when you get laid off from a job, they'll keep paying you for a while afterwards.
Oh,
It's also
that does sound nice.
A clever play on words because it's about a corporate retreat that gets attacked by. I don't want to give it away, but they get attacked.
Goblins.
Yeah, they get attacked.
Lots of people die.
And it's
The
and
leprechaun
it's a
attack.
foreign
Oh,
movie.
God.
It's a foreign movie with just enough gravitas and blood and gore that you can feel like you watched this movie, except you've actually watched a much better movie.
John, were you able to find any heart and charm in this movie?
There is no heart and charm in this movie.
No,
In fact, actually,
I didn't see it
was
either.
kind of pissed that the main guy got away.
Yeah, like there are no consequences. I mean, so he has a shitty time, but there aren't any lasting consequences for him being an asshole.
Yeah, remember that time I got chased by that assassin? I had a real bad time.
I was
Right,
covered in
that's
poo,
it.
and I was
Oh, my clothes got ruined.
I was driving a
I had to
tractor.
cut off my hair. And you know what the worst part about it is, if you really think of it, short of being submerged in shit, really, it wasn't that bad of a time. Like, as
No.
far as,
Well,
like...
he got
I got
stabbed.
banged up pretty bad. But like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, we've seen worse.
Oh, and he cried like a bitch when he had to shave his
Yeah.
head.
Right.
Like, my beautiful hair.
But I
it
think this
sucked.
kind
I
of
had to
goes
shave
in
my
partial with
head.
the whole yuppie thing. I think that, like, I mean, we've seen some people put through the fucking ringer in some of these movies, and this guy really wasn't put through the ringer that bad.
He just went off a cliff in a car is all.
Whatever.
Well,
I
he
walked
got
away
fat
from
people
that.
all over
No, yeah,
him.
no, it's not like Mel Gibson in Paycheck or
Exactly.
something. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
pulled out his
No,
keys.
$64,000.
You know?
I'll give you $128,000. No.
Actually, you know what? I actually really like that movie. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me
That
too.
movie's a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
$64,000.
I found that movie a hard watch.
So, yeah, I think...
Yeah, it's that too. It's a hard watch.
Yeah,
but-
so I think everybody, we're all in agreement that you can take a pass on Headhunters. You really can.
Well, yeah, because I don't know, like, not to go too hard on this point, but kind of bringing it back to Eric's point of view. This guy doesn't like lose his career or his wife, or he doesn't end up homeless. He doesn't.
After this movie, he has a better life.
Yeah, he doesn't.
This
He
shithead
doesn't-
has a better
he doesn't
life
lose
after this
anything.
movie.
He doesn't lose anything, and I mean, yeah, it sucks to be chased by a killer, but
Well, you get over it.
That-
You know.
Yeah.
well, it seems like he will because he's fucking fine.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay, everyone, it is time for the game. For those of you listening at home, this is going to be a very special game. It's going to be a listener appreciation game. Where
Hooray.
Yeah, where
We appreciate you, listeners.
Yeah.
We like you.
We do love you.
Good job.
So we're combing through some of our past suggestions, picking up some of the ones that were made since the Christmas episode, and some of the ones that were made previous that we may either have not gotten around to or outright rejected. So those,
I believe the word you're looking for is veto.
veto. Yes. So we're not going to veto anything today, regardless of how terrible a suggestion it is.
Or how obscure.
Or how obscure, in some cases. Looking at you, Tabby. But I also wanted to personally give a shout out today.
To Tabby, thanks for the cookies.
Well, yes, to Tabby. But also to somebody who isn't a listener, but who's related to a listener, and will probably someday be a listener. Sequoia Burke Combs, Millie's youngest brother, is currently, as of right now, trying out for the U.S. Olympics men's rugby team.
Wow.
He was recruited.
Oh, shout out.
Yep, he was recruited to try out for the Olympic team. So here's hoping John Hates Movies hopes that you get recruited.
Yeah.
He posted,
Go,
Go
get him.
Sequoia.
Go get him, Sequoia.
yeah. So with that being said, since James is running the game, each of us are going to be each of us are going to be assigned a specific movie from our listeners. The Brass Teapot, Tabby. That is Tabby's suggestion. I'm personally going to be handling that one, so sorry, Tabby, in advance.
We have to write games specifically for John to win in order for him to win.
Chris is playing for John Dufort. Yay, John.
Johnny D.
The choice is going to be Mad Max if Chris wins.
All right.
Damn
All
right.
right. If Colin wins, he's going to be choosing Big Trouble in Little China, which was suggested by Christine.
My girl.
And Eric, double dipping. Gonna be playing for Christine as well.
Christine again, I'm playing for the same movie, but by the same person.
That's right.
Again.
Crossworlds.
Crossworlds?
Because
Yeah.
I vetoed it, or I initiated the first ever, and it won't be the last, John Hates Movies veto because of this movie, because I hate Rutger Hauer so much. I cannot stand him.
We should delve into what Rutger Hauer did to Johnny. Like,
Yeah.
we need to solve this whole mystery.
It was a very, very bad, horrible...
Just a fucking yuppie that doesn't realize how good his life is.
How do you go from improvising one of the best speeches in one of the best sci-fi movies of all time to playing the fucking Vampire King in the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer? How does that happen?
Shakespeare's got to get paid, son.
That being said, fuck you, Rutger Hauer, and let's start with the game. James, what are we doing?
Okay, so I like to do improv, and some of us here like to do trivia. So I figured maybe there's a way to combine them both. So this is a game that I that I created. It has a trivia element, so it'll be played a lot like our Jeopardy game. Your name will be your buzzer, but you do not have to answer in the form of a question. Here's the thing.
Eric still has to do
No,
Eric.
no, 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 no.
No, he doesn't.
No.
This is going to be some rather obscure trivia that I don't expect any of us to really know much about. So that being said, if you don't know an answer, you can make something up.
Okay.
If it's good or if it's funny, you will get a point. But here is where it gets deeper.
What?
If you make something up after the question is answered the first time, there will be a 5-second pause. During that time, any of the other players may call shenanigans.
Oh, so this is like bullshit.
Yes.
Or balderdash or,
Or
any
balderdash,
of those
yes.
nonsense. Yeah.
If-
That's okay.
Yep. If the thing is bullshit and you called it correctly, then you will steal that player's point. If
Gotcha.
you call bullshit and that person has the correct answer, then you will lose 2 points and the other person will gain a point.
It's a good thing I've been watching a lot of Quite Interesting lately.
Yep.
I'm planned for this. Primed and planned.
If it's funny, if it is genuinely funny and you call bullshit because it is obviously bullshit, you will lose a point and the other person will gain a point because don't be a dick.
So I hope.
Wait. There's
a whole
don't be a
chapter.
dick
Yeah, there's a whole
rule.
chapter in the rule book called "Don't Be a Dick."
We might as well all lose now.
So, but if it's stupid and I don't particularly like it and it's
You lose
bullshit,
point anyway.
yeah. Or if you take too long to come up with your bullshit,
Good God.
It's a good thing you're
we
not
get
playing.
it.
All right,
We get it.
We get it.
There are
it.
rules that you're making
So,
up. Whatever.
obscure
Let's
trivia,
go.
come up with some bullshit, or...
And then just give us the.
yeah.
Okay, give
No,
us
no,
the bull...
the question will be kicked back to the other players. The second time, bullshit cannot be called. Feel free to guess.
How many pages does this rule book have?
Well, the fact that it
It was
has more
written
than
by
one.
James, so half of it is in French.
Yep.
right.
So the final rub of this whole thing, the final rub. There are 12 questions, and I have given each player one correct answer to a question.
Oh.
Yes,
But only
Okay.
one.
but only one. So there are 4.
So we can opt to use it.
You can opt to use it. And remember, if somebody calls bullshit on that, then they lose 2 points.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope you're keeping track of your own points, James.
Yes, I will keep track of my own points.
Okay.
I'm not keeping track of mine. I'm just going to be honest with you.
At the end of the game, like Chris is gonna have a pizza
This is it.
shape for points.
Ooh,
like
I want
I'm gonna have a
pizza.
That sounds
frowny
pretty
face.
All right. So.
Colin will have unicorn points, and
John will be an alligator.
Do we have that braying donkey? Can we get that?
She got an alligator in spelling. I don't know if that's good.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
All right. So,
Start us off, James.
first question, and this one's kind of a gimme. Can anybody tell me which country this movie was made?
Eric,
Colin, Sweden.
that was Eric. I said Eric first, and it's
No, Eric said
Norway.
Colin first.
Eric was Eric first.
No way.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was Eric. Eric, you
Oh
go.
my God.
Norway.
And that's correct.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would have been wrong anyway, so
Yep.
thanks, Eric.
What did you think it was?
Oh, I said Sweden.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, well.
This movie actually holds a record. What is it?
Eric,
Okay, Eric.
highest grossing Norwegian film of all time.
Colin, bullshit.
Okay.
Colin, you just lost some points.
Nope.
Ah!
Nope. Nope. Colin, you get a point.
Oh!
I read this on Wikipedia yesterday.
What? Okay. Fine. I guess, Colin, you lost 2 points.
wait. What was
what was
supposed
the
to be the
record?
answer?
The supposed answer, because like if you happen to get something right, you still get the point. It was sold in over 50 countries, the most of any Norwegian film.
Well, that's probably one of many.
Yeah, exactly. So if you
Okay,
happen to get
question-
something right, then yeah, okay.
Question 3.
Question 3. Norway once aired a 12-hour special regarding this mundane item.
Eric.
What was Eric?
This is actually. Oh, okay. No. It was about seal hunting and hunting ships.
Bullshit. John, bullshit.
Ooh.
John, you get a point.
See, I tried to throw you off. Oh.
Strategery.
Yep. All right.
There is a heated debate regarding firewood in Norway. What is the debate, and what movie was this referenced in? No one?
Colin.
Okay, Colin.
The debate was about moving firewood and how it spreads insects.
Well,
And
I'm
the
going to
movie-
call bullshit on that right now.
And the movie was the Bjork story.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Colin, even though that was kind of funny, Chris gets a point for calling bullshit.
Well, I know that's an issue with firewood, so I took a stab at it, but I was like, oh, fuck, what movie could it be?
Okay, so did I lose a point for getting that one bullshit wrong?
You just didn't get a point.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Colin's down 2, apparently.
I think I'm down like 4. I'm deep in the
That's
negatives.
probably true.
Big trouble in Little Colin.
Okay.
I'm a decent size.
Nope, the debate is whether you store it with the bark up or the bark down, and it was referenced in Frozen.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Never seen it.
Wow.
Me either.
A popular American TV show recreated a scene from this movie. What was shown? What scene was recreated? What show and what scene?
For the movie that we just watched?
Yes. The popular American TV show recreated a scene from Headhunters. What TV show and what scene was recreated?
Holy cow.
Chris,
Chris?
I think the obvious answer, because it has done everything, is The Simpsons. We all know The Simpsons did it first.
What scene?
Yeah, well,
Bullshit.
I'm going to go with the poo scene.
I'm calling bullshit on this.
Really? Really, John?
Yeah, all right.
You're going to call
John,
bullshit?
you get a
Because
point.
I know
John's
the
right.
answer. I know the answer.
Yeah?
Yep. It was a Family Guy, and it was the poo scene.
I call bullshit on yours, but I can't call bullshit on yours.
No, you can't call bullshit on it.
Which is-
John, you already got a point because you called bullshit correctly. Chris, I sent you that one. You should have went with the right one.
Yeah, I thought Simpsons was funnier.
See, I already
Okay.
deviated from the right one too.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
firewood one.
Yeah. That's not a
what-
good
what was-
strategery. The real answer
So was
is...
it Family
No.
Guy?
Nope, the real answer is Mythbusters. They recreated the car crash where he was between two fat people, and they determined that he would not survive.
Well, obviously, they were wrong because he did in the movie.
Well, crap.
So
That's all right. I still got the point.
Mythbusters busted.
Bullshit, yeah.
Uh-oh. Johnny's in the lead. Johnny's in the lead.
I don't
boy.
think John is in the lead.
John
I'm
is
in
in
the
the
lead.
lead with 2
Nope.
points.
I have 2 points.
I think I'm in the lead.
That's right. Yep.
We're
John
going
and
by
Eric are
absolute
tied.
value, right?
Yep.
I call bullshit on that.
All right. This
We're
is the
basing
first.
on golf score.
This is the first known film filmed in Norway. What was the title, the date, and the type of movie? Genre.
Oh, God.
Oh, it was a western. It was John Wayne was in it, and it was called Once Upon a Time in the West.
Well, first
Bullshit.
off, he didn't say Eric.
Colin, bullshit.
Like we have to ring in when we're all
We
thinking of
do
stuff.
have
Yeah.
to ring in. Because if that was a good answer, I was going to ring in and steal it. But it was a lousy answer.
Yeah.
You're making us
Yeah.
come up with too many details, James.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was too many.
So Colin, bullshit.
Colin, you're at -1 point now.
Woo!
Yay!
Wait, how's
Hold
that?
up.
He was like -4 before.
No, he was at -2.
No?
I just gave myself a handicap.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
No, it does not
It
matter. It really does not matter.
All right, whatever.
Okay. 2014 saw the release of a sequel to this popular Netflix movie involving medical students fighting off this. Name of the movie, what they were fighting.
Colin, I don't know.
Colin, you get another point. You're at 0.
Yes!
That is funny.
That's legitimately the most accurate answer.
The answer is Dead Snow, and they were fighting off fucking...
Oh, zombie Nazi!
Yeah, zombie Nazis.
I was gonna guess zombies at least, but I didn't realize there's a Dead Snow too.
Yeah, there is. I forgot about it. Shit, I should have known that.
In this 2010 award-winning movie is called En Gaskshil Man. What is the English title and what's it about?
Spell that.
Colin.
Colin.
A Somewhat Gentle Man, which is about this guy. He's in the mob, and like he's like a low-level nobody, but the mob boss hires him to kill the guy that put him in jail.
Bullshit.
Oh,
Chris.
John called bullshit first. John, you lose 2 points. You're at 0.
What up?
That's
What?
really it?
That
Yes.
is it.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god!
Acting!
Okay,
knows?
this question's good. Portions of this popular American movie were recorded in Norway. What movie was it and what scenes? I guess, okay, well, just go with what movie was it. Popular American movie
shit,
filmed
because
in...
we all don't fucking know anyway.
Colin, girl with a dragon tattoo.
Oh no, that's fake. Because that's like, okay, that's a real answer. That is a real answer for a.
John, are you
damn
calling
it.
bullshit?
No, because
I'll call
he's
bullshit.
Right,
Why
but
not?
It's like not the answer.
Worst case
you were
scenario, I could be
obviously
wrong.
looking
I
for.
call bullshit.
Okay, Chris, you call bullshit?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a point for that.
Oh, come on!
Because the answer I was looking for, you guys should have known this, was Empire Strikes Back! Fucking Hoth!
Oh, come
Hoth.
on!
Yeah,
Right.
no, nobody knows that, James. Nobody knows that. You
I know
don't
a
know
lot
that.
about
You're making
Star
it
Trek,
up.
Star Wars.
I should
I know a lot about Star Trek.
Yeah, I know a lot about Star Trek
You
too.
take that back.
This is
I
the
should
name.
know that.
This is the name of the deepest lake in Norway. What is it,
Chris,
Chris?
Lake Deep in Lakenliken. I don't know. Something.
Bullshit. It's Lake Riskajeskavnik.
Actually, John.
Actually, John.
John, I'll give you a point because I gave
John
it.
is not the name of the lake.
Wait, John got a point for buzzing in.
Because Colin was Colin. I didn't expect Colin to call bullshit on Chris's bullshit. And John was playing some good strategy there because he had the right answer and he was waiting for somebody else to bullshit so he could get a point.
But he never answered.
Because this whole game is bullshit anyway. John gets a point. Because that strategy was pretty smart.
As usual, the
Oh,
So do we
host
have
of
more
the
questions? I've
ultimate
lost
arbiter.
track of how many questions there are.
This common kitchen item was invented by a Norwegian. In its native tongue, it is called a hovel.
John.
Eric.
John.
Brass teapot.
Bullshit.
What? Chris.
I already said it. I already called bullshit.
Right, you call bullshit.
Yeah, it's a Schmeckle-Rater.
I was going to say...
That was funny!
That was right.
All right, we'll go with, yeah,
Whoa, the
Eric.
points are just flying now.
Eric,
You
Eric,
can't
you
even
get a
keep
point.
track of them.
Eric, you get a point. That's
Award yourself a point, receive a point.
yep. The answer is the cheese
I get a point.
slicer.
Oh,
Oh. I tried, Tabby.
the hovel.
Okay, this innocuous object was invented by a Norwegian. Also became a symbol of resistance of Nazi occupation. John,
What is the cheese slicer?
John, you get a point.
Colin, bullshit.
That was the "Don't be a dick" clause.
Oh, yeah, Colin, you just lost points for being a dick.
Oh wait, that was.
Yep, you're it.
Oh, that was funny.
Four lost points.
Wow, you just lost
Did I
3
lose
points.
another point? Oh, what is this? There was no 3-point.
No.
rule.
With all
There was
these
no
cheese
three-point.
slices,
Didn't you
I just
read
want to
the
make
back
I'm
of
having
the
a
book,
Havarti
man?
time
Yeah.
joke.
God,
There were like 5 pages of implied rules.
Yep.
some clause pie.
The scores so far, it looks like Chris has 2, John has 2, and Eric has 2. So this is
Okay.
the tiebreaker round. No calling bullshit.
Is this the last question?
This is
We're
the
all tied?
last question. According to TripAdvisor, Norwegians don't. Eric.
Norwegians don't French kiss because they think that the soul is contained in their saliva.
That's pretty funny. All right, John.
I don't know. Norwegians don't, shit. They don't
Time
take
up.
buses.
Time up. Time up.
Norwegians don't shit.
Norwegians don't shit. Though this movie proved
this
otherwise.
the movie proved otherwise.
That wasn't Norwegian shit. That was Swedish shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Twist, it was from one guy.
Chris.
Only one guy.
One
guy.
fucking super
Okay,
huge
all right,
Danish dude.
All right. To paraphrase Killjoy, Norwegians don't surf. But they ride sharks.
All right, yeah. I think that's it. Chris is our winner.
Yay!
I wonder where you're going with that. I was like, okay. Yes.
What's a Norwegian shark?
I don't know. Oh wait, no.
I
Is
said
that
they
like a
ride
Swedish
sharks.
fish?
What's a Norwegian? What they ride sharks?
Yeah.
Is it like a
Badasses.
Swedish-
Norwegians are
They
badasses.
don't surf, but they ride sharks. It was a list of what they don't do. Surf.
Nobody appreciated my Swedish.
And that's
fish
the only
joke.
thing they don't do. They don't
I
surf.
thought it was hilarious.
They-
there was
they
those
ride
little
sharks.
gummy fishes.
The Sweden, John, you lose an extra point for confusing Sweden and Norwegian. Norway.
Sweden and Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Whatever.
Whatever. Chris is our winner. Despite all this nonsense.
Mad Max.
Max.
John DeFort.
Mad Max and Maxiest.
Have we
Mad
watched a John
Maxiest.
DeFort movie yet?
No, we have not.
No, we just tell him we might, and then slap in the face by picking a Christine one, then vetoing it.
Well, at least this time Christine has somebody else to be mad at because at least it's because I wasn't funny, not because John didn't want to watch Crossroads.
Yep.
Hey, I was on the hook for the brass teapot, and for a little moment there, it looked like we were going to win, Tabby, but...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I've heard good things about Brass Teapot from other people. So
just
completely-
not this group, because
Yeah.
this group will just berate it to. I mean, I don't know why anyone would actively want something they like reviewed on this show because all that will happen is they might still like the film, but they'll have that thing like, they're kind of right about that, so they'll just hate us.
Yep.
You better be
Eric
careful
said
here,
this
Chris,
movie was a
'cause
yuppie shithouse.
I'm tempted to veto Mad Max and make us watch Crossworlds.
No.
Well, we all know that's a lie.
Yeah, I know.
That bullshit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on John Hates Movies. We are going to be watching Mad Max the original. It's, next week.
You mean
That's
Road Warrior?
No,
No,
Mad
Mad
Max.
Max.
Okay.
Road Warrior's the second one.
I thought Road Warrior was the first one and Mad Max was the second one.
Nope.
Nope. Other way around.
Mad Max and then The Road Warrior.
Then Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which is quite possibly the greatest movie ever filmed.
Oh, no, it's awful.
Who rules Barter Town?
Pig farts.
Pig farts rule Barter Town.
Wow.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
Oh, man.
So, Christine, don't lose hope. Eventually, we will get this shop up and running, and you will still get your free T-shirt. And we haven't given up on you yet, so please don't give up on us.
And
We
remember,
have, however, given up on Crossworlds.
you can always come back and nominate the same movie.
That is true.
That's true.
That is-
Okay. You could force us to not give up on Crossworlds.
Don't do that.
But you can.
We don't
All right,
need
so-
another hero.
Hero. We don't need another Crossworlds.
What we want is a brass teapot.
From beyond
On
the
the Thunderdome.
Yay, Mad Max!
have a good night, everybody, because we're not going to.
Yep.
Good night, and good luck.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say,
That's your phone!
Dimension